The tension between the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Pengassan, and Dangote Petroleum Refinery and Petrochemicals (FZE) has resurfaced. This time, the Oil Workers Union is warning that it will shut down the refinery again if any of its members are dismissed for union activity. Pengassan President Festus Osifo issued the warning while reacting to comments made by Vice President Kashim Shettima, who had earlier criticized the union decision to ground the refinery. Speaking at the Nigerian Economic Summit 2025 in Abuja, the Vice President had described the shutdown as unfortunate, insisting the world would judge Nigeria by how it treats Aliko Dangote, the refinery's founder. Shettima's comments appear to suggest that shutting down a project of such national and global significance could damage Nigerians' image and investor confidence. But in an interview with The Punch on Monday, Pengassan President Festus Osifo stood firm, insisting that the union's actions were justified and grounded in the labor law. Of course, the nation is bigger than Pengassan, just as it is bigger than Dangote and the presidency. But we have a mandate to protect the jobs of our members, and we will discharge that mandate whenever the need arises. Osifo made it clear that the union would not hesitate to take similar actions again if any of its members were sacked for joining Pengassan. He emphasized that the association's position remains unchanged. The protection of workers' rights is non-negotiable. When asked about social media comments suggesting that the federal government might move to dissolve Pengassan over its strike, Osifo dismissed the idea, questioning whether the law prohibits workers' right to strike. The warning for Pengassan comes as the Dangote Refinery, one of Africa's largest industrial projects, continues to navigate its early production phase amid labor and operational controversy. As tensions simmer between the two union and management, observers say the standoff could test the government's balance between protecting investment and upholding labor rights. For now, Pengassan's message is clear: touch one member and the refinery could go quiet again. The federal government has described Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote, not merely as an individual, but as an institution, a national asset whose success reflects the strength of Nigeria itself. Vice President Kashim Shettima made the statement at the opening of the 31st Nigerian Economic Summit in Abuja. Representing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, Shettima said the government's view Dangote's $20 billion refinery project as a symbol of national pride and global significance. Aliko Dangote is not an individual, he's an institution, a leading light in Nigeria's economic parliament, and how we treat this gentleman will determine how outsiders judge our nation. As tension continued between the Dangote Refinery and Pengassan, the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, over the recent sacking of hundreds of refinery workers, the Vice President urged caution and patriotism, warning that no labor disputes should be allowed to hold the nation's economy hostage. The Vice President stressed that the refinery's contribution to Nigeria's industrial future cannot be underestimated. If Dangote had invested his $10 billion in Microsoft, Amazon, or Google, he might be worth $70 or $80 billion today. But he chose to invest in his country, and we owe it to future generations to protect and promote the interests of this great Nigerian. Supporting Shettima's stand, the Minister of Budget and National Planning, Senator Atiku Bagudo, reiterated that the government sees the refinery as a critical pillar in achieving industrial self-reliance, energy stability, and job creation. Vice President Shettima's comment came less than a week after Pengassan suspended its strike against the Dangote refinery, following the recall of about 800 workers allegedly dismissed over sabotage. With governments now calling for unity between labor and industry, analysts say the coming week will determine how Nigeria balances workers' rights and national economic interests. For now, the message from the federal government is clear: Aliko Dangote is not just a businessman, he's an institution, and protecting his investment means protecting Nigerians' future. Thanks for stopping by.